am Bradley. I am making a video in regards to my idea about the availability of perception. Okay, it took me a long time to remember my own term, but the availability of human perception. Now, disclaimer, there's no way that I can scientifically prove to you that this is real, but I swear it's real. Or it's not. But it doesn't matter because the fact that I think it's real makes it real, or the fact that I think it's real makes me do things that are good. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day what's real or what's not. What matters is what works for you, whatever it is, in a healthy means. So basically, the availability of human perception is the idea that human beings perceive with consciousness, which is pretty understood by now, that humans have some sort of consciousness inside of them, and that consciousness perceives this stimulus from the outside to depict something on the inside, you know. Now, the consciousness that is inside perceiving itself is like a material. It's like a fluid, right? It's like a water. And what I mean by that is water can be materialized in different states, right? The water has different states of matter. So it's like water, H2O, can be a solid, a liquid, or a gas. And as you go up the ranks of solid, liquid, and gas, you're raising the energy level, also known as like heat, kind of, you know. Heat will make the molecules inside of the materialized object, aka water in this topic, heat will make the atoms move faster, increasing the energy frequency. So instead of it going whoa, 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 it's going whoa, 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 and the faster you go whoa, 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 it's actually whoa. You know what I'm saying? Like it goes deeper, slower, faster, higher. Theoretically, in my brain, right? So, the same thing can be assimilated to the human consciousness. That consciousness can be materialized in different frequencies, okay? So I'm not talking about body at this point. I'm simply talking about consciousness. And there's different bodies that carry consciousness. So it's like this is one of the cups that we have. And by we, I don't really know who we is. I guess you could call we God, okay? Because I have another theory explaining what God is in my brain. And it's not like a Christian point of view. It's not like a anything point of view. It's a Bradley point of view. But I've like researched all of this stuff, so I've come to my own conclusions, and I've also like existed as a human, so I kind of have come to my own conclusions on that as well. But basically, when your consciousness is vibrating at a given frequency, it is able to perceive a given reality of that base realm, right? So let's just say we live in this realm, and then in this realm, whatever it is, however it was made, don't care at this point. What we're talking about is how it's not how it's functioning, but what is going on inside of it in the interactions. So we have this realm we live in, and then in this realm we have this like body, right, that we live most of our lives in, as we see to it. So, but like let me wait till I say that. So we are in our bodies in this realm, and those bodies are able biologically to perceive certain frequencies. And then let's say that you now are sleeping and you're going to sleep, but now you're dreaming. You're not dreaming with your body, you're dreaming with another body. What's that body? It's called the astral body, as far as I'm concerned in my brain. And the astral body is something I will talk about in a different video, but that astral body is vibrating at a different frequency, allowing your consciousness to perceive a different frequency that is not able to be necessarily seen comfortably, easily in a 3D body like this, the physical body, the material body. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the actual quote-unquote 7 different vibration points, 7 different heavens, 7 chakras, basically, if you want to, the easiest way that I've used to depict this idea is the 7 chakra pools, okay? The diagram of the 7 chakra pools. Now, if you know and are familiar with this diagram, you will know what I'm talking about. For people who are not familiar with this diagram or this concept, really quickly, chakras are ideologically these things that are somewhat of energy pools that this is what people will say. They're energy pools that exist at different points of the body that they function different aspects of your physical and mental life. And they're different colors. So the lowest one is like down here, if you can see that, and it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, okay? So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, same 7 colors of the rainbow, same 7 colors of the frequency range that humans can see, okay? And now let me tell you this. This is now being told to people who know the chakra diagram and people who don't know the chakra diagram. 6 of those first chakras, which is the majority of the chakras out of the 7, 6 out of 7 chakras are located inside the 3rd dimensional body. And we're talking about the depiction in the diagram. The chakra diagram depicts 6 out of 7 chakras inside the human body, and then 1 chakra outside the human body. Now, the range of these frequencies is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So when you think about that, that also corresponds to frequency. Red being the lowest frequency wavelength, and red, orange, yellow, violet being the highest frequency, okay, rating frequency. So in that same situation, if you want to assimilate it to the consciousness, you could say that the chakra system is also depicting the 7 wavelengths and frequencies of human consciousness. So let's go back to the idea of our body being a cup. That cup only holds what's in it, and what's in it is a consciousness that can only perceive so much, okay? So it's like our consciousness is restricted of perception the same way that our body is restricted of frequency perception of the consciousness that is itself restricted. So I will go into a different video why all these things are restricted, or why we've evolved to restrict these things. But as we are still inside of this video, your consciousness is restricted to this low vibration, a little higher vibration, a little higher vibration, a little higher vibration, a little higher vibration, but it can only perceive up until this last crown chakra, shall we say. And this is as far as I've learned so far in my life, okay? Maybe there's a higher's, but even at some point there's a restriction. There's gotta be. But humans really can't understand infinity, so it's like maybe it could go on forever, like that's a thing, but I just don't like to conceptualize infinity, because that's like the same thing as asking who's God, made God, and where did it all start? Like, infinity, bro, but that doesn't make sense to us. So I'm not going to get into infinity. Let's just say that there's a restriction on our perception, on our consciousness, and it ends at this really high frequency of consciousness associated with the crown chakra. Now, the big point in this video is that 6 out of 7 of the consciousness points that are inside the 3rd body, the 3D body, are only perceivable 3-dimensional. I don't mean to say they're only perceivable 3D, but they exist in the third dimension, so they're perceivable easier and more natively by the 3D body. When you're in the 3D body, it's easier to reach those vibrations of consciousness. But that one conscious point that is outside of your body, that is really high frequency, that consciousness, that sliver of your consciousness, 1/7, the highest frequency to reach, is fourth dimensionally perceivable. So it's like you can perceive outside of time when you dial in and correspond yourself and your perception with your consciousness to that frequency rate. You can see outside of time, meaning that you can see what was, what will, what has. And it sounds, obviously people are like, whoa, my God, I would time travel. I would go into the future. I would do this shit. But you're such a naive individual of a consciousness, you yet are able to fully, think how long it's taken you to fully potentialize what you think is your 3D body, right? So like it takes 20 years, so on, so 22, 30 years to get like really set as a human 3D, right? You can't just turn on and start practicing meditation and use your crown chakra and just start time traveling. I mean, maybe some gifted individuals can, but the same way that you have to practice being a human, you have to practice being a fucking fourth dimensional entity, right? Which you are always, but maybe there's some entities that are like, maybe they start up here where we leave off and I don't know, right? But we have a sliver of that ability. And when we go to sleep, we access that sliver of ability. We go into sleep paralysis. This is where astral projection comes into place, which I have a video on as well. But the main idea is that the availability of human perception is 6/7 3D and 1/7 4D, quote unquote. And what that allows a human to do is to be able to train themselves in a very disciplined manner to be able to consciously change their frequency of being so that their perception raises and fulfills attributes of understanding in which one could more potentially go about their things that they need to do, right? So it's like life is full of choices, and if you have the right mindset to make choices, then you would make the right choices for you. But if you don't have the right mindset to make those choices, you're gonna make bad choices leading you down bad paths. So in order to have a good mindset, you have to be fully aware and balanced in your motives. Not too emotional, not too rational, not too intuitive, but you need to be a balance of all three and whatever other factors that lie in there, right? You need to be able to see what's good for you, what will make you feel good, what will make you be able to do those things that you don't want to do but you need to do to get to where you want to go. I mean, like, you can't fly, you know what I'm saying? But you could work your entire life building a machine that can make you fly. And by make you fly, I mean, like, the Wright brothers. You can fly in the air, maybe you can build wings. Now we got water jetpacks and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it takes time. And that's the beautiful thing about the 3D world, is that you have time to experience stuff. So if you fuck up, you could try again. There's always a tomorrow. But when you're sleeping, I'm not going to go into this. The availability of human perception. You have a lot of it, and it's not just 3D. Now, if you want to know the techniques to reach the different levels of perception, right, through the consciousness frequency manipulation or arrangement, shall we say, I have videos on my YouTube channel about it, and I could, I'm making them. This is the first video because it's like the bombshell, quote unquote. It's the theory behind which, if you believe in this theory, or if you think this theory is plausible or whatever, then you will be available to understand and digest what is to come after this video. Because this video will just introduce you to the concept that humans aren't just a bag of meat, even though humans may be a bag of meat, but the consciousness that allows humans to be human is not a bag of meat. And that consciousness is what will carry on after that bag of meat falls over. And this isn't a Christian point of view, this is like humans, this is life. And it's very confusing because what I'm saying isn't necessarily like a story. I'm not telling you, like, I'm not giving these like martyrs these problems. Like, what I'm telling you is that you are a thing that does this, and it's kind of scary because it's like, how does that happen? How am I able to have this consciousness that can do this shit? Like, what the fuck is going on? And it makes you question these things, like, who made the thing that made us? Like, who was the beginning? What's the beginning? Where did it all start? Like, how did it start? How does something come into nothing? It's very overwhelming, quite existential, if you may think about it. But we're getting to that point as a consciousness that we are now understanding things like what I'm talking about. And it's probably giving a lot of people anxiety and stuff like this. So in order to combat and reground a consciousness that is kind of getting massively overwhelmed, I kind of want to throw these theories and practices out there for these humans to ask more questions and find more answers, and also, not fucking kill themselves because they're so scared of life or whatever. So, it's not like I haven't struggled with these anxieties as well too. I mean, that's why I think these stuff up, is because, like, it's not like I'm over here brainstorming, like, what in the fuck could I tell YouTube? Like, I do not want to be making a YouTube video right now. It makes me cringe. Like, I have to edit this or something. Maybe I won't edit it. I don't know. But if I don't edit it, people won't, watch it or whatever. Maybe it's too ranty. I don't know. It's intense. YouTube videos. I have to appease to, like, the tweak mentality of humans nowadays. Either way, I'm gonna make the other YouTube videos, and yeah, hope you enjoy. This is a video about the theory of the theory. It's a theory called The Availability of Human Perception by Bradley Martin. Ending video.